Hi, thanks for joining me today. I'm Deanna from the Pilates studio, and I'm going to take you through a short kind of working from home stretch Pilates break today. All you need for this is a mat, or if you have a nice thick carpet, that's even better, and a towel. So a fairly thick beach towel, or maybe a couple bath towels rolled up together, just so you've got one about this size. And we're going to start lying on your back. So once you lie down with the towel underneath your pelvis, just try to make sure the towel is fairly even so that one hip isn't lifted higher than the other. Okay, and this position oftentimes can already cause people to have a little bit of a stretch in their back. So if it's uncomfortable, just bring your bum back down onto the floor. You want your legs to be shoulder width apart. Arms are going to be reaching out to your side. Turn your palms to the ceiling. Just allow your chest to open nice and wide. Okay, and all I'm going to get you to do is start with a bit of breathing. So taking deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. And when you're breathing in, I want you to think of sending the oxygen to the bottom back of your lungs. So you almost feel like your rib cage is expanding out to the side and down towards the floor, as opposed to breathing up into the upper chest. That in itself can often cause a nice little stretch in the lower mid back. And on your exhales, just think of relaxing the shoulders from the ceiling, so you feel like your collarbone is nice and wide, your chest is nice and open. And again, find a comfortable position with the arms out to your side. And as you're breathing through here, we're going to add a little bit of a pelvic tilt, or an imprint, as it's called in Pilates. So on an exhale, you're going to tip your pelvis, so your pubic bone kind of lifts towards you and your lower back flattens towards the floor. And then you inhale, release it. So you tilt and release. And again, it's a small movement. It's not like jamming your back towards the floor. It's just a little bit of a rock of the pelvis, right? Just a nice gentle movement. Kind of opens up the front of your hips a little bit and stretches out that lower spine. And add that little abdominal squeeze while you do that. So you're tilting the pelvis and just tightening through the abdominals a little bit. And again, it's not a 100% abdominal contraction as hard as you can. It's just a gentle squeeze of the abs. Perfect. And I want you to tilt the pelvis and hold that position. So you feel like the hip bones in the bottom of your rib cage are trying to touch towards each other. And then I want you to lift one knee up so it's bent over your hip. And then without adjusting your pelvis or your back, you want it to stay nice and stable. Squeeze your abs a bit more and lift your other leg up. So now your knees are both bent over top of your hips. Try to get your knees to bend 90 degrees. Sometimes it's hard unless you really give it a good look, but ideally they're 90 degrees. And then exhale, tap one foot to the floor, and then back up, and then the other leg. So as you're tapping, it's a slow and controlled movement. Try to avoid any arching through the lower back. You want to keep your abdominals strong, and you still want to think of that feeling of the hips and the bottom of your rib cage trying to stay towards or touch towards each other. Okay, there's a space there, and the space shouldn't get bigger every time you tap your foot, right? You're trying to keep that rib cage closed in towards your hips. You can stick with this, or you can make it a little harder if you want by reaching the legs straight. This is going to challenge the abdominals a little bit more. So make sure again that you're not letting the back arch when you work through this. It shouldn't bother or hurt your lower back. Okay, if it is, you're probably letting that lower back arch and the abdominals aren't doing their job. So try to send the leg maybe a little bit higher, or go back to the knee bending one. This is a great way to work through those hips. One more on each side. Perfect. And then I want you to hug both knees into your chest. And then bring the legs, they're going to stay together this time, but in a tabletop position still. This can be done with your feet down on the ground. Okay, so if it's too much, pop your feet back down on the ground as we work through the spine twist. So arms are straight out to your sides, palms are facing the floor, keeping the knees together. I want you to inhale, lower the legs towards one side, Exhale, squeeze through the abs, bring the legs back up. And if you feel like you're about to fall off your towel inside the way, just get rid of it. You can do this without your hips on a towel. And again, always wanting to have some abdominal engagement, work, tension, awareness. This is another way to kind of stretch through that mid-back. And take your time. We're going to do one more set on each side. And once you bring your legs back up, take your left ankle and bring it up on your right thigh. And then I want you to let the legs come towards your chest. See if you can keep your right knee lined up with your right shoulder and your left knee lined up with your left shoulder. And pull the legs as much as you need to get a nice gentle stretch in the left glute. So if your left ankle's on your right thigh, it should be the left glute that feels the stretch. Great stretch, have the stretch. And then switch. Okay, so same thing. Once you get in your position, see if you can get your left knee to line up with your left shoulder, your right knee to line up with your right shoulder, and just gently pull the legs in. And then from this position, we're just going to bring the feet back down, lift your bum up, and you can get rid of the towel for now. Okay, and I want to get you, grab behind your leg, roll yourself all the way up, and you're going to come onto your stomach. So really small movements here for back extension. So your legs are going to be shoulder width apart, your hands are going to come beside your head, and your head is slightly lifted. Okay, so your forearms are on the mat. And I want you to think of just taking your shoulders and drawing them down away from your ears and almost away from the floor. So you're taking your shoulder blades and actually sliding them down and together a little bit, okay, so that you feel really wide in the chest. And then on an inhale, I want you just to let your head and chest lift just a little bit. It's almost like your chest is popping forward a bit. And then exhale, come down. Okay, this is not a full lower back extension exercise. So you're just lifting, you're almost doing a back bend in your mid-back, as opposed to your lower back. So the mid back is the one that's hunched over all day while you're sitting at your desk. So often just having this little bit of a lift is a difficult thing for people to do. Again, you're just trying to almost lift the chest up and forward. One more like this. Then take your arms, swing them around to your sides. Palms are going to touch your thighs, okay? This is harder than it looks, squeezing your legs. So you're just kind of gently squeezing into the thighs. Inhale, lift the head and chest. Exhale, lower. So same movement, but your arms are in a different position. And like I said, it's harder than it looks. So the chest lifts and presses forward. Or you've got that gentle press of your hands into your legs. 2 more. Last time. Perfect. Bring yourself now up onto your hands and knees into a tabletop position, rounding through the spine into your cat stretch, and then sit right back onto your heels. So you're still flexed in your spine, but you're sitting onto the heels. This is it's called a shell stretch. Fantastic. And then bring yourself back up, and you're going to sit in the center of your mat. We'll do a little bit of abdominal work before we finish. So you're sitting centered, legs are hip distance apart. I want you to take behind your thighs and help pull your back straight, okay? You want to feel like you're sitting right on top of those 2 butt bones of yours, and then reach one arm at a time out in front, palms face in. And then you're just going to tuck your pelvis, just like that imprint we did. You're going to tuck and roll off your sit bones onto your tailbone. Keep tucking, so your abdominals should feel like they're working, and you're not going all the way back. And then you're going to restack your spine straight, so you're right on top of your sit bones again. So exhale, tuck. Your abdominals should be working. Inhale, restack. So you're working through the lower back. You're doing a little bit of flexibility or mobility. Right? And then you restack, think tall. Roll back and hold at this time. So roll back where you feel like your abdominals are holding you. Your hips can relax a little bit and it's not stressful on your back. And then exhale, reach one arm up. And down, don't let your feet lift. So as you're reaching that one arm up, the weight of your arm is challenging your abdominals a bit. Relax through the hips, try to think of abs, abs, abs. Now you're gonna reach both arms up, not all the way up, about a 45-degree angle. Perfect, and now as slow as and controlled as you can, don't let your feet lift and roll all the way down to the mat. Woo. Perfect, then reach both arms back behind you, both legs straight, and stretch. The best part. And then in your own time, hug your knees into your chest and just rock the legs side to side. And then when you're ready, roll yourself all the way up into a sitting position and you're done. 10 minutes flew by just like that. I hope you enjoyed class today and hopefully I'll see you next time. Thanks again.